Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about why is it so hard to get over our narcissist and why are we stuck in rumination and not moving forward? Why is it so painful? So we're stuck in this limbo because we haven't let go. And there's the 5 stages of grief that we have to go through. We're going to get angry, we're going to get depressed. But when we get to the acceptance of what happened, that's when healing begins. And we have to shift our mindset. We have to look to today and the future. We have to live in the moment instead of living in the past and build our future. So we have a lot of brain fog, brain damage that was done to us, a lot of confusion. We're searching for answers. So it is good to be on YouTube or search on your own. Feel free to comment with any questions. I try to acknowledge everybody, possibly do videos if it's a real intense thing that you're going through. But a lot of us are searching for answers, and a lot of us are searching for the person to hurt that hurt us to heal us. And they're not going to. They're not going to. It's kind of like if you smash, if you get hit with a baseball bat, smash your leg. The narcissist smashes you, as an analogy, a metaphor, whatever you call it, smashes your leg, and they're at fault. They're not qualified to fix it. You need a surgeon, and you have to take the steps to go through what you have to go through, even if it's uncomfortable, to get to the healing place. So we are asking our narcissist, in a sense, to give us closure, to give us compassion, maybe even just a hug goodbye or some understanding on what went wrong, or just for them to validate our feelings. And their emotional state is that of a child. And if you have children, you it's impossible for them to comprehend, to address your needs, because they're needy. And it's a role type play. And the narcissist is an emotional childlike state that they're not qualified to even help us, to even self-reflect or to apologize with a heartfelt thing, because they're in survival mode. They're in a childlike state, a survival mode. They need to be guided. They need to be molded. They need to be this, that. And it's crazy how they say that we're needy. We're needy because we see an adult. Emotionally, they're a child. So it kind of confuses our mind already. But when we accept this happened, we can accept that we've been hurt, just like if we were smashed with a baseball bat. But we have to stop searching in the wrong places to heal. We have to go to what's healing us, whether it's spiritual or from within, or your group of friends who are going to bring you back to life. But we have to do our part, because even our friends can't fix us. They can be there to maybe guide us. A lot of times we shut them down, like, you don't understand, or, but what if this, that they're going to get burnt out on trying to help us, because we're not accepting the help, because we're still searching for the answers. And we have to take the steps forward. We start to, in a sense, be addicted to searching for answers, trying to understand, to being sad. We get used to it. And when you start going through the brain transformation, the neuroplasticity, where your brain is trying to heal or adjust, sometimes it is just an adjustment, but it gets uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable up here, and physically it can be uncomfortable too, depending on how deep the damage was to you. So sometimes we go back to what might be easier, having the person that hurt us. We were taught that, apologize, understand each other, talk through your problems. But with a narcissist and the silent treatment, the lies that they tell. And it was really interesting. I had a kid at school today. I'm an art teacher for elementary students. And this one little girl had told me that her grandmother was shot and killed. And my heart went out to her, and about 3, 4, 5 weeks go by, and she had told me, yeah, that's not what happened. She died from old age. And she was crying, and she started saying that she didn't want to be around her mom anymore because her mom was always so sad. So I believe it's her mother's mother that died, and mom's kind of in a funk about it, which is understandable. Um, but the child doesn't know how to help mom. The child wants to help mom, but the child also doesn't want that sadness being absorbed. We absorb what's around us. So be careful on wanting your narcissist back, that you will absorb what's around you. It will change you, that you want positive people. You want to be a positive person. Fake it till you make it. It starts becoming a part of you. But it was interesting that her perception of her feelings, making up stories of more elaborate. And I think she wanted attention for whatever she was going through. Also, the comprehension emotionally is different. The trying to fill in the blanks, because maybe this is just speculation. Maybe at her age, she's 5 or 6 years old, and maybe she doesn't fully comprehend death. So she's trying to make sense of it. Like old age, like I've seen old ladies, like they're walking around. So maybe her mind has to make it more extreme, whatever the situation. But with the narcissist and the emotional state that they are, they're in survival mode. They lack certain memories being processed correctly. So this little girl, her memories weren't quite right, and she's trying to fill in the blanks to understand that she didn't want to be around her mom because she didn't know how to handle it. She didn't know how to handle it. But then she's like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. So at the same time, she wanted to go home, and she probably would have wanted a hug from her mom. That it's really confusing. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You say one thing, you mean the other. And we kind of go through that with a narcissist. And the more I'm around these children that have been through some kind of trauma, whether it's a loss of a grandmother or severe stuff, you know, it's interesting too that this one boy shot his finger off, 5 years old. He's 6 now, but shot his finger off. And he was telling me about this video game. It's so cool. Like you could shoot people, and um, there's no fear of guns, and almost like an obsession over it. Um, just certain things that he's said. I'm not going to go into detail with everything he said, but is it a coping mechanism? I'm a burn victim. I completely blocked out that fire when I caught on fire for several minutes. I don't know how long, maybe 20 minutes, but um, there's blocks in brains when trauma happens, and there's also triggers that happen. So we're trying to make sense of all of this, and a lot of us are like, I'd really like to give it a chance. I'm willing to understand his or her triggers. But the thing is they've gone through a full life of this, and they have shame based on feeling weak or unlovable in their eyes. And as far as unlovable, it can be to, let's say I'm not, but let's say I'm a narcissist and I'm a great singer, that I feel the world should love my singing. I'm the best singer out there. That's what I feel. And I'm not getting that adoration. So I have to kind of maybe put on a glitter gown, or I have to make a big venue, or like I got to get these people to understand what I'm trying to say, that they go outside to the extremes. That's what the love bombing is trying to impress you so you don't look at who they are. Just like if I was a narcissistic singer. These are all analogies. I hope you guys follow along with my mind. But I can't rely on my voice. I have to rely on my hair, my makeup, my dress, my venue, the special effects. And I'm tricking you in a sense because you're not believing I'm the best singer. So the narcissist is kind of tricking us into believing. They give us this false package of this beautiful gift, but what's inside, isn't revealed for a long time. And our mind gets tricked into certain things. I know I had mentioned in a few videos that there was one teacher. It was an April Fool's joke somebody played on me. I think I was in 11th grade. And they said that this teacher was pregnant. She looked like any normal woman. She was thin, um, maybe a little bloated, like women get that. Like she had a nice stomach, but maybe a little bloated. But so I was like, oh, she's pregnant. They told me she was pregnant. And for hours went by. And it was the hardest thing to get out of my mind that she's not pregnant. I was happy for her. I connected it with an emotion. And sometimes that connection with an emotion makes a difference. And then when I was told it was a April Fool's joke, it was so hard to get out of my mind because I took it as truth. So we take this relationship as truth, but it wasn't. Just like that lady being pregnant, she wasn't pregnant. So I could sit here and live the next 9 months of, cuddling her and helping her with these things and, whatever, but it's not reality. It's not going to bring forth, a beautiful baby shower that I can celebrate with her. It's just time that I'm investing in someone for the wrong reasons. So are we investing in our person for the right reasons? So we can get screwed over, so we can get used, so we can not be loved, but feel that we are. It's an empty love. It's an empty love. And we want a true love. So when they don't have connections with people, they don't really care. We're disposable. All of us are disposable unless we're cared about. Just like certain jobs, we're disposable. Are we truly cared about as a person in a lot of companies? Is it, oh man, she needs to stay home with her baby. Her baby's really sick or going through this, or there are some good companies, but are we just a number? So with the narcissist, they treat us as either an employee or an object that we're disposable at any time. And it's up to them to just make up some excuse. A lot of times they don't communicate that. So we're confused. What do we work on? What do we change? Is it us? So we're constantly thinking, and we have to stop the what wasn't good enough about me. And we have to believe in ourselves and write down or acknowledge to ourselves what is good. I'm caring, I'm faithful, I'm loyal, whatever it is about you. I'm funny, intelligent, creative, whatever is special about you is special. And we get stuck in that rumination, the intrusive thoughts that we have. And we have to understand what was it about today that made me so sad? Why was I thinking so much about it? Maybe I'm lonely. I'm lonely, so they're popping in my head. Then we need to go have coffee with our buddy. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because work was hard today, and work being hard gives me frustration, and I'm learning that the equivalent is focusing on our person because we're kind of longing for that person, that the frustration we're transferring over to them and wanting them to fix it. Because is work going to fix our frustrations? Usually not. It's a mind shift that we have to do. We have to start accepting this happened. They will not give us the closure. Just like that analogy, they are not the surgeon. They are not the one that's going to fix it. We know what's wrong. We know there's steps to take. And we have to pull ourselves out day by day to get to the healing process. Because I don't want you guys stuck. I've been stuck in it for years, hoping and going through your mind, but you said this promise and you did this. This was sweet that you did. And the reinforcements that they give you, which are bullshit future faking, that we have to realize the pattern, and look at their past relationships or things that they say, was there ex always crazy? You know, usually people are gonna work out. She wanted kids, I didn't, or went off to college, or we just weren't compatible. He just wanted to go play football all the time. Whatever it is, there's usually a reason other than they were crazy. The narcissist will make us crazy, and that's what gaslighting is, the crazy making. And it's a terrible state of mind to be in. So we can't gaslight ourselves, because then we're still in crazy mode. We're still in this altered reality. We're still in a place of hope for something that isn't, you know, and it takes two people. If you were to ever get back with your narcissist, that it would only work if you fully forgive them and they fully change. So it's real hard to fully forgive because we're hurt. So if we bring any of that negativity back into that relationship, it's going to cause them to attack us again. So can we release that? If we're strong enough to do that, it's really hard to keep the trust because we know that they always falter. But if we could release that, they're still going to do the same cycle. They are not committed to changing, and they might do it for a little bit of time, but it's not for a lifetime. And the longer you stay with them, you get older, might have some ailments. And when things get tough, that's when they're going to leave. And it would be really sad to invest your whole life into somebody who's just going to discard you in your final days. There are people who will love you to the end. We have to love ourselves first to get that kind of person. Don't settle for somebody who just wants a quick fix. That they truly love you. They truly want to understand you, and, that they don't call you sensitive, that they say, what's going on? Why are you feeling that way? To want to understand us, to be willing to compromise, or to even set boundaries. Oh, I can't give you that. Then it's not meant to be. If it's something important to you, we got to be flexible too. But if it's outside our comfort zone, and I noticed too, like with the way that they text, it's can be disrespectful at times. We're brought up, to acknowledge people, and people nowadays are getting real lazy with replying to people. It takes 2 seconds. And that's where it's hard to process. It takes 2 seconds. If I'm your friend, your lover, your family member, I get it. People are busy. Give them a day or two, maybe 3. But when people don't take the time for you, are they really there for you? We got to balance it with not being too needy or angry, but a narcissist, when you try to say, hey, like, I'm starting to get worried about you, they let you worry, or they think that you're playing games because they play games so many times. So moving forward, I want to help you guys change your mindset to being positive, to being optimistic. And it's hard to accept what is and move forward. So even in your mind, if you do want to get back together with them, it will not work right now. It will not work. You haven't fully forgiven them, and they're not ready to change. So until those two things happen, it will never work. Please, I'll say it one more time. If it was to ever work, we'd have to fully forgive them and not focus on that. We'd have to heal within ourselves. So that's what we're trying to do anyways. Are they willing to change? That's going to come from within them. We can't change them. So let's work on ourselves. Forget about what's meant to be or isn't meant to be. Right now, this is our reality. Who knows what's going to happen? If they don't change, it will always be toxic. It will always lead to discard, whether physically, who knows, emotionally, it'll always lead to discard because that balance is going to go off. So be whole in yourself. And a lot of times too, when that happens, you don't want the narcissist anymore because you realize your worth. So I hope that was helpful. Topic requests are welcome. One-on-ones are always available. And I will see you guys soon. It's a journey, but I'm here to help you. Please like helps with the algorithm. Subscribe is always nice, and I'll see you soon.